crazy!
Lascia fare a me, su.
No, no, me la cavo benissimo.
This is where you directly order from their website, so you can get the lobby cards if you order directly from them. Plus, you're supporting them. They're making a better profit margin, and we got to really get behind this company right here. I was just going to show where to go. Thanks. And also, I wanted to show all the specs because, I mean, you know, y'all don't want to hear me rattle off all that stuff. So here they are. And just check it out. Thanks, y'all. How y'all doing? Today we're gonna review the Case of the Bloody Iris Blu-ray 4K set from this brand new label, Celluloid Dreams, and this is their debut release. And I gotta say, it's an amazing release. They really they shine hard on this one.
They completely smashed it, man. We're going to get into, like, you know, all the aspects of the 4K and the Blu-ray as we go.
So basically, before we get into the set, though, I guess we'll go ahead and give you like a synopsis of the film. Jennifer has recently left her husband, Adam, and the Iris sex cult he enslaved her in. He spies and stalks her constantly. She and her kooky friend, Marilyn, are models. And an architect, Andre, is love struck when their eyes lock instantly, which, I mean, I think any man's would be if they were staring into the sex goddess, Giallo Queen of Edwidge Fenech.
Completely, absolutely, yeah.
A sex worker and other tenants are being killed in this high-rise building, which leaves an opening for Jennifer and Marilyn, courtesy of Andre. Plenty of suspects in this giallo, set in Genoa, Italy. A well-made film with a great cast on top of a Gastaldi screenplay with a memorable score from Bruno Nicolai that sticks in your head. Edwidge Fenech and George Hilton in their prime and top-notch camera work. Even the stolen shots bring you into 70s Italy. So kick back with a bottle of J&B, turn out the lights, and enjoy this wonderful restoration Guido and Lucas have put their love into. Any fan of the genre must own this edition of The Case of the Bloody Iris, put out by Celluloid Dreams. Order directly from their site. The link is in the description.
What a cast we got in this, Dirk, as well, you know?
Yeah, man. It's solid. I mean, you got You got Edwidge Fenech and George Hilton meeting for the third time in a film. Then you got the great Ernesto Gastaldi as a screenwriter. Luciano Martino's one of the producers of the film. It's kind of odd Sergio's not there with them,
Right,
because
yeah.
they've done other things. But this is really a solid entry to the giallo. But it's definitely pretty high in the giallo. But this release was desperately needed. There's only a DVD, Blue Underground DVD in the States. There is a Blu-ray, right? Where you're at?
There's a Shameless Blu-ray in the UK.
Right.
But if I'm honest, I've got to say it's a very poorly produced one. The
Right.
print doesn't look great in it. There's a couple of little extras, but not really that much. This is their
really
original
slammed.
release as well, yeah?
Yeah. It's like Mike Tyson in his prime, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, like everything about this release, the actual print is done in, I don't know how they did it, but it's done it because I know Dirk has listened to the commentary track, but the print looks absolutely pristine. But it still carries this natural grain as well. And there is a way they did that in there, Dirk.
Yeah, I mean, they're very meticulous in what they're doing. You can tell that these guys are fans, true fans of film and cinema. So they're gonna definitely do their best work. They're a lot like us. I mean, we love films, and they want to do what they love to do. You know, they want to work on what their passion is, and I appreciate it, man. I think this company is going to do really well. You know, I mean,
yeah,
they're going to take their time in making these films. They're not going to rush them out. There's a true love in what they're doing, and Guido Hinckel's commentary track. Man, I mean, you can tell he did like a plethora of research. Man, it's so detailed. I mean, down to like a bottle of scotch. He's saying what that bottle of scotch would be worth today. I think he said was like $600.
right, yeah.
But for those that appreciate commentary tracks like we do, I think this was his first commentary, and it's great, man. It's amazing.
I mean, the future's looking good with guys like this. Is what we need really to come along, especially considering, you know, because we'll mention the next release in a bit as well. Kind of concentrating at the moment on giallo. In terms of the film, for me, this has always been a top tier giallo. I love everything about it. I think it's very trashy. I've got Edwidge Fenech. She turns up in the first like 5 minutes of the film, completely naked in body paint. That gets you hooked. That should get you hooked, you know, man or woman, from the word go, you know. And her chemistry as well, Dirk, in it with George Hilton is too. When those two seem to be on screen, they just got something.
You would have
going
thought
on.
that they would have been married.
It's crazy,
especially
man.
Like in every film they were in together. But I mean, you got so many great cast members as well. That's complimenting them. You got George Regard.
Yeah,
he's been in like the Horror Express. He's been in tons of All the Colors of the Dark, Death Walks on High Heels, Eyeball. You know, I mean, he's been in a ton of them. But he's always great to see. Paola Petrini, I mean, she was mainly a stage actress.
Right. Yeah.
Carla Brait is in here. And, you know, y'all might know her as Ursula in Torso.
Absolutely, yeah. And what a scene she puts in this, man.
Yeah.
So it's a nightclub scene where she basically takes on all these men, or, you know, in a kind of wrestling competition, and you've got to see it to believe it. Some of the moves she pulls out, you know, without giving too much away. Obviously, very beautiful actress. She starred in a few giallos, you know, she's quite a few Italian films as well. The cast to this, I think, is superb. I've got a score by Bruno Nicolai. For me, it's kind of one of the most memorable scores of its time.
It is. It sticks in my head, man. When I hear this score,
absolutely, yeah.
It's slamming in my. I was at work today, and that was going through my head a little bit because I just watched the film, obviously, again, and it's a great score. I did want to speak about Giuliano Carnameo, though. He was mainly known for westerns. He did a bunch of the Sartana westerns, And, you know, George Hilton was in a couple of his films. They Call Me Hallelujah and Return of Hallelujah. I know he was in those two. But this is kind of odd because I know that the Giallo wasn't his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even so, I mean, he made a wonderful film, man. He really did.
I think so. I think, like I said before, it's top tier. I will say as well, you know, you've got the likes of Brian De Palma with the elevator scene in Dress to Kill.
Yeah.
I think it's a heavy influence. There's 2 scenes at least in this that I think Dario Argento must have seen because he basically copies them for Tenebrae.
Yeah.
But the one scene I do want to, you know, we're going to just pull out one scene just to get people kind of interested in the film, is where you've got this woman, she's walking through this like crowded shopping area and she gets stabbed and you see the killer's POV. And the way that is shot, to me, is like the standout scene in the film, along with the wrestling scene, like we mentioned with Carla Brate. And you put all these things together with the, you know, Edwige Finesse, you know, nude scenes, you know, as well. And you just get a really fun, trashy giallo, not to be taken too seriously. But I mean, I'm so glad that these guys have brought this out and we can see it the way we're seeing it now, because I can't really see anyone topping this. This is going to be the definitive edition. This is the one to get, guys. You know, you really need to support this company in every way you can.
Definitely so, man. I got to agree, too, because I have to be honest. When I first seen this film, it was really goofy with the English dub track. But this time I watched it, and I watched it in Italian, and then I turned around and listened to the commentary track. I gotta admit that, like Guido, he even mentioned, you should check out any film in its native language. It's a whole different experience, which I've kind of been on that road here lately, anyway, because you're gonna get the true actors' voices. I know a lot of the stuff was voiceover, but
kind of a different vibe as well, in it.
Like a completely different experience. Yeah, it really is.
So yeah, like you say, fantastic. You know, and we will go into the extras as well because I think they got like a load of really good extras on this too.
Yeah, I did want to touch on some more of the actors before we close it out or whatever. So you got, hold on, Annabella Incontrera as Sheila Hendricks. He was in Double Face, Black Belly of the Tarantula, So Sweet, So Dead. You got Gianpiero Albertini as the Commissioner Ensi, which I actually liked him better this time. He's completely useless. I mean, he's you know what I mean? He's worried about his stamp collection. He's screaming at a bunch of people. It's still, I still dig it though.
There's some goofy stuff in here with cops, but it usually takes me out of a film, but it didn't with this one because I think it's all kind of just got that vibe anyway of a fun type film.
You got sexual themes in here, like with the killer. What motivates the killer is, I'll be vague about it, but you know, there's the hippie love cult in here as well, which was popular for the time. I mean, these films in particular, you should always go in the mind state, you know, that was that time, you know,
right? Yeah.
Try not to think about other things. You know, I can do it very easily. I know not everybody can, but these films aren't for everybody. So, I mean, they're for everybody that loves the genre. And
I completely agree. Yeah,
I love we got a label that's just coming right out the gate with the gas pedal on, saying, "Hey, we're coming with the Jolly." So
absolutely, yeah. And this has got like a similar kind of undercurrent theme as maybe like All the Colors of the Dark, even though it's not as literally as dark as that film. You know, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. The stuff with the stalking husband
and the sex cult
on.
Yeah,
with the hippie sex cult.
I mean, so that one in Strange Vice as well, right?
You've got the character in Strange Vice of Ivan Razumov as well, which is kind of like the stalking husband in this. So this is very much like a Martino film. It's not as
without Martino, without Sergio, you know.
Yeah. But, it's probably a more type of fun kind of, you know, Martino knockoff, really. But don't let that put people off because
it's definitely worth seeing. It's worth having in the collection.
You
And
have to own. You have to own this.
he even got Luciano Pigozzi in here, and he's been in a ton of films: Hatchet for the Honeymoon, Baron Blood, Blood and Black Lace. I mean, you know what I mean? He was in Libido, Ernesto Gastaldi's Libido. He's the Italian Peter Lorre, right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. He turns up in everything.
He's in All the Colors of the Dark too. So,
right.
I mean, like I said, this film's never looked better. It's never sounded better. Highly recommend you go ahead and buy a couple copies and send one to a friend. You know.
Yeah. Martino fans, Argento fans, we're gonna absolutely love this. They're gonna lap this release up, you know.
Right.
And yeah, like you say, highly recommended. Dirk's gonna go into all the extras as well as we go on with this review.
So Edwidge Fenech, you know, she was in All the Colors of the Dark, Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, Your Vice is a Locked Room, and Only I Have the Key. She was in Five Dolls for an August Moon, Strip Nude for Your Killer, Top Sensation, aka The Seducers. She's been in a ton, man. She's been in a lot of sex comedies, which I'm not as familiar with, but I mean, she is the sex goddess, queen of giallo, and this 4K really shows all the definition. So
it kind of pops, like literally pops out, you know, on screen with Edwidge.
But, I forgot to mention she's also in 2007 Hostel Part 2. So you know,
the great Eli Roth.
But I love the special features. You got Ernesto Gastaldi in there. There's like a 30-minute interview with him, and it's very informative what he talks about. George Hilton, like I remember he was saying he was 84 at the time. Rest in peace. He died back in 2019, but he was saying that he was 84 and he had a young girlfriend, and Gastaldi was commenting on his young girlfriend, but he didn't want to say nothing in front of his daughter. Just things like that of that nature. Also, Hilton mentioned that he loved working with George Regard because they're both from Argentina. So you get all that kind of little stuff in there. There's an outtakes reel, which is pretty damn cool. An image gallery. It's got some cool stuff in there as well. You see the UK title, Erotic Blue. So
which I'd never heard of anyway. Yeah. Makes it sound more like, you know, really kind of sleazy.
And Barnumeo also directed back in 1988 Rat Man. So
right, yeah. Which I didn't know.
Which is kind of crazy to think, like, you know, like, because he did all these spaghetti westerns. He did this one giallo, which is pretty damn good. It's better than I would put it. I mean, you know, it's pretty high. I mean,
it's top tier for me.
Yeah,
it's a top tier giallo. It just comes into like top tier,
right?
Yeah, it's very much like we mentioned earlier, very much in the same vein as Martino. You would actually think this is a Martino film if you were just watching it and you didn't know. But yeah, it's top tier for me. I think it's gone up for you as well with this release. So
definitely has, man. I think the transfer, the sound increased it. Plus, this time I watched it in Italian, and then I listened to the commentary track, which I've said again. Guido did a great job on that commentary track, but I can't thank them enough for sending us this film to review. I'll briefly show some of this stuff, but I'm gonna, of course, show something else. I'll show all this.
And that's a mouse pad, by the way, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the mouse pad.
I think that's just a promo item. I could be wrong. I don't think you can buy that on the site.
Yeah. Yeah, but you do get these on their site. You get these huge lobby cards, man. They did a damn good job. Also wanted to mention real quick that I bought directly from Celluloid Dreams. Even though they sent me a free copy to review, I went ahead and bought another edition just to support them, and I'll probably give it to a friend.
Make sure they get, 100% of your support as well, because Amazon do take a big chunk out of it. I know.
But these, I mean, you get 6 lobby cards, man. It's pretty cool, man. And I mean, they I believe like every release is going to be a Blu-ray 4K. So there's none of that buy a Blu-ray and then couple months down the line will buy the 4K. It's not going to be none of that shit.
Well, that's right as well. The price point of these are really good as well. You know, it's kind of how much is it over there in dollars, Dirk? These
So
releases?
it's $39.99 on the site. So shipping and all, I think it was like 45. So
I mean, you can't go wrong. You know, just with the lobby cards and the whole, everything. You know, the slip cover. You
right.
can't go wrong really with this release.
So on the special features that we do have, I mentioned the 30-minute interview with Gastaldi. There's a 20-minute interview with George Hilton, and then there's a 10-minute interview with Paola Quattrini. I absolutely loved listening to her too. She sounded pretty like an interesting.
She's very fun, even like she's obviously getting on in years, but like that interview was actually very fun because I've actually seen her talking on camera, and yeah, she seems like she really enjoyed the experience.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a hell of a release, man, and this might, I mean, definitely, in the conversation, best release of the year for everything you get for the dollar amount. And these guys are, they're really putting a lot into it.
I mean, Giallo wise, it has to be the release of the year because I think they're even gonna kind of top it in their next release as well. If you want to mention that, Dirk, as well.
Oh yeah. So the next release, they've already announced it. It's in here. That's Black Belly of the Tarantula. So I'm really excited for that one. I really love this film.
Yeah, it's great.
It's another one that needs a proper release, and it's great that they're doing this. By the way, I needed to show this. So there's the disc art for the blue and the 4K. So, and then the reverse art, I'll show that right quick. The reverse art is the same, but with the Italian. So it's the same as this art, but you got the Italian, you got the English. So that's cool.
You can see the love that's gone into this release as well.
Yeah.
Because they are literally fans of the genre, and you can basically tell. Nothing is kind of, they've gone all out. Nothing's really rushed or anything with this release.
Right. Definitely not. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the review, and I can't say enough great things about Celluloid Dreams. I'm really excited for this label.
Yeah.
So
guys, go out and support this. We can't say that enough. Just go out, support this.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we're going to get a lot more Giallo titles to follow as well, which I can't wait for the future of, to see where this company goes. I think it's going to go places.
Yeah, and I got to thank them again for sending us a copy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And all the stuff you get with the release, it's pretty damn awesome. Can't thank them enough. But I guess we'll get out of here, y'all.